The first is, I would like to know what you each feel is different, your observations of today's rodeo versus the time when you were rodeoing.
That's a Mahan question.
Larry, start.
Well, it's not like you were just doing it 5 years ago.
Well, I really feel that during the 60s and the 70s was the best time to rodeo, and one of the big reasons was that it was a friendlier world then. I mean, and back then, when you stepped on a commercial airlines, they really appreciated your business, and it's made a big turnaround since then. And so many of the people in that business, I mean, for example, that business, but a lot of businesses, it's as if they're doing you a favor to take your money.
Yeah.
But we now, what we have now that we had then, we still have our Western culture and our Western heritage, and we're so blessed that we can stay in that world and enjoy the people that still love it, because that is the backbone of what we've been able to enjoy in the rodeo game all of these years. It's very special, and that's something that, like you all at Paws Up here, I mean, that's so wonderful that you've been able to keep this alive and expose it to people who would never in any way, shape, or form have a chance to even scratch the surface. And that's something I think is so important for the rodeo game, because that is to me, it's the link from this generation to that generation that can carry it on to the next generation. And why do we have that? Because of the independence and the freedom that we get to enjoy in the rodeo game. That's one of the things I enjoyed about it so much. I mean, from my passion of the horse to all of a sudden I found myself as a young pilot, so I was flying all over the country, making those last minute decisions from, am I going to go to this rodeo today or that rodeo? You can't go there because the weather's bad, so you have an option over here. So you really have to learn how to adapt to change, and that really has, you know, it's almost, I could almost say very honestly that when you go through life, there will be a change or two that's going to happen and take place, and we have to learn how to deal with change. And again, with the history of this country that was founded on hard work, dedication, determination, and knowing that you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. Now things have changed. I mean, back then it wasn't easy to go out there and scam a deal or con somebody out of something. It was hard work that basically meant survival. And the importance of the horse during those days, that was how people survived. You know, from the farming to the transportation to the logging, and going on the ride the other day at Paws Up, seeing those old steel rims out there and broken down parts of farming equipment. I mean, how many of us in this day and age could even imagine what it would have been like to farm or raise crops during those days? The only one that I know of sitting here that could have survived that is Monty Hawkeye Henson.
Hey, I was going to say this to add to you or two. When the urban cowboy craze come along, starting in about 1977, 78, 79, that opened the world up where you could stay in the Western world after rodeo, life after rodeo. A lot of people did not get to stay in the Western world, and they really wanted to. But after Urban Cowboy, I mean, it became cool. President Reagan said rodeo was cool, country music was cool. You didn't have to turn it down when you were at the red light anymore. Country music turned up. The whole Western scheme changed, and we all were lucky enough to be a part of it. All of a sudden, most bars you went to for Urban Cowboy craze, you wouldn't take no nice girl in them if they were a cowboy bar. Once that all opened up, then every nice place was cowboy friendly and all that. It was a bit.
They had the girls.
Yeah, they had the girls already there. Thank you, Paul.
Gillies in Houston.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
There you go. You know, just stuff like that changed the whole Western world, the way people looked at Western world, and the rodeo benefited a whole lot from that. You know, I know our Wranglers went up, our jeans went up, our hats went up, damn it. But rodeo went up with it too, with money, so I have to be thankful for that urban cowboy craze that I was cussing at the time. Those same people that cussed us when we were wearing cowboy stuff, all of a sudden they have boots and hats on. It's like, hey, what's the deal here? You know what I mean? But it helped our sport a whole lot.
Remember that song, I was country, and country wasn't cool?
Barbara
Yes,
Mandrell, there you go.
You bet, that's it.
No. Anything with that, yeah.
What I see different is sponsorships.
Yeah.
That's what I see different. Of course, I could go into the competition, but we don't need to. But what I see is if you are a person of integrity, if you are a person of good character, and you are a person out there to be meaningful in your accomplishments, and you can present yourself to the public. We only had one guy in the 60s and 70s. That's that guy over there.
Yeah.
And now today, there's lots of kids that can talk. There's lots of good rodeo competitors that can actually stand up at a corporate meeting and say something that has got some value to it.
Or do a national interview and not be stove up.
Yeah.
You're right. There's a lot
And
of
answer some questions.
Yes.
Nope and yep,
Yeah.
you know?
And that happened at one time in our sport when we were going. It was an over and a yupper, you know.
So I think it's the sponsorships that I know when I was going, I think there was Winston.
Frontier.
Frontier,
But what
Probably
is
right.
And Frontier.
Yeah.
Was Coors in there in the 70s?
Late 70s. After
Late
slips.
70s? Yeah, after slips.
You're looking for a sponsor when you get slips, I'll tell you that.
Black velvet, yeah, you had black velvet.
Oh, yeah. Cotton Roster would knock you out with one if you wasn't watching too.
Yeah, exactly.
Sling it at you after you got off.